Welcome to The Explainer. So tell me if you've ever experienced this. Honestly, it's a completely universal mystery. You get a raise at work, right? Or maybe a sweet year-end bonus, and for a brief, shining moment, you think, yes, finally, my bank account is going to grow. I actually have some breathing room. But then a few months roll by. You check your balance at the end of the month, and you're exactly as stuck as you were before. You're making more money, you haven't made any massive financial blunders, but somehow you're in the exact same spot. Well, look, you are definitely not alone here. In today's Explainer, we're really going to look under the hood at the hidden mechanics of our everyday spending, and we'll uncover these totally invisible costs that might be secretly draining your wealth.
So, why does a raise literally never feel like enough? Okay, let's dive right into this by looking at a massive cognitive blind spot. We're talking about something called lifestyle inflation. It's basically this sneaky mechanism that causes our everyday lifestyle to instantly absorb practically every single income increase we get. The gap between what you earn and what you keep, it stays exactly the same. Or honestly, sometimes it actually shrinks.
To see how this actually plays out, let's look at two neighbors, Nenna and Derek. Now, on paper, these two are financially identical. They both work in tech, they both pull in $82,000 a year, they live in the exact same apartment building, and they've both been at their jobs for exactly 4 years. Neither of them has a gambling problem, and neither has made some wild, reckless purchase. But after 4 years, Nenna has a super comfortable $31,000 saved up. And Derek, he's sitting at just $4,200. So what gives? I mean, Derek pays his bills on time. While, as you're about to see, he is the victim of a very quiet, silent leak.
All right, let's get into Section 1, the invisible wealth drain.
To figure out exactly what happened to Derek, we first need to expose the psychological trick that makes our brains completely ignore recurring expenses. You see, this is exactly how our brains process money. Think about it. When you drop $1,200 on a flight or $800 on a new couch, you feel it, right? That's a huge conscious event. You naturally stop and evaluate if it's worth it. But contrast that with those tiny automatic charges. You know, that $12.99 monthly fee? They are literally invisible to us. They don't trigger that natural pain of paying. Instead, they just sort of blend seamlessly into the background noise of your bank statement. And I really want to reassure you right here. If you struggle with this, it is absolutely not a moral failing. It's not a lack of willpower or discipline. It's actually a well-documented feature of human psychology. As it turns out, our brains are simply not wired to track small, recurring costs. They literally register as background noise, a systematic blind spot. And unfortunately, we live in a consumer economy that is perfectly architected to take advantage of this and extract money from us as frictionlessly as possible.
Which brings us to Section 2, leaking $500 every month.
So where does all this money actually go? Because when you add up all that background noise, it totals nearly $500 a month for the average person. And there's just a massive disconnect between what we think we're spending and the shocking reality. When surveyed, most people guess they spend, around $86 a month on subscriptions. But actual bank data reveals the real average is way more than double that. It's $219 a month. We're off by over 150%.
Let's run through a quick hit list of exactly what's straining our accounts. First off, we've got forgotten streaming services and cloud storage. Then, those staggering food delivery markups. Seriously, a $14 meal easily becomes a $26 meal once all those service fees and delivery charges hit. That is a 50 to 100% markup just for convenience. Then there's the daily coffee habit, quietly siphoning away $1,440 a year. Add in those super frictionless $10 digital micro purchases on Amazon or Temu, maybe a gym membership you haven't swiped since January, and everyday convenience premiums, like paying extra for pre-cut veggies. Individually, yeah, they feel like nothing. But put them all together, it's an absolute tidal wave.
Moving on to Section 3, the normal debt trap.
Now let's shift our focus to the larger systemic traps that we've basically been conditioned to accept as completely normal adult expenses. Take this staggering number, $730. That is the average monthly payment for a new car right now in the US. We have become so addicted to auto debt that the literal second a car is paid off, the dealership emails start rolling in and we just immediately trade it in for a newer model. And that keeps most households permanently stuck in this endless, super expensive cycle of monthly car payments. And this debt trap absolutely extends to our daily spending too. 22%. That is the average credit card interest rate right now. That's the penalty you're paying just for the privilege of borrowing that money.
With the rising cost of living, so many people are putting ordinary expenses like groceries and gas on their cards. And at 22% interest, those totally innocent everyday purchases quickly mutate into a massive, compounding financial burden. And you know, the math on minimum payments is just brutal. If you've got a $5,000 credit card balance at that 22% APR and you're only making the minimum payment of about $141 a month, you are walking straight into a trap. It's going to take you over 23 years to pay off that $5,000, and you will pay more than $8,500 in interest alone. Credit card companies literally design minimum payments to keep you trapped in debt. But get this, just bumping that monthly payment up to $200 clears the whole debt in under 3 years.
And it's not just about debt, right? It's also this convenience tax of not knowing how to maintain our own stuff. Let's talk home maintenance. Ignoring a super simple whole house water filter replacement can totally wreck your appliances and land you a $500 plumber's bill. Now, contrast that with a smart DIY fix. It takes maybe 30 minutes, you spend $50 on a part, slap on a little silicone grease, and you're done. Relying exclusively on professionals for basic life maintenance is just another massive, silent drain on your wealth.
All right, Section 4, a $500,000 mistake. So why does all this actually matter? Well, because these small leaks aren't just costing you a few bucks today, they are literally destroying your future wealth. Let's go back to our neighbors, Nana and Derek, and look at a 20-year timeline. The difference is absolutely mind-blowing. In year 1, like we said, they're identical. But Nana did a simple audit and realized she was leaking $380 a month. So she stopped those leaks and set up an automatic investment for that exact amount. Derek, he just kept ignoring his $490 monthly leak. Over 20 years, Nana's redirected money compounded into a staggering $226,000. Derek spent over $117,000 on delivery fees, unused subscriptions, and convenience markups. He's got absolutely nothing to show for it.
And hey, remember that $730 car payment? What if, instead of upgrading your car the exact moment it's paid off, you kept driving it and you took just $500 of that old payment and invested it into a basic index fund tracking the stock market at a 7% return? Over 30 years, that single behavioral change yields over $600,000. That right there is the true opportunity cost of accepting perpetual monthly payments as just a normal part of life.
Let's look at how to solve this in Section 5, Systems over Willpower. So, how do we actually fix this? Let's pivot away from all these heavy numbers and talk about empowerment, because the secret here is absolutely not relying on exhausting mental discipline. I really love this quote. Willpower alone, fighting against an entire economic system designed to extract money from you, is not a strategy. It is exhaustion. It's so true. Psychological research consistently proves that willpower is a finite resource. If you just try to be better at not spending, you're gonna fail, simply because the apps, the stores, the notifications, they are all brilliantly engineered to make spending completely frictionless. We have to completely change our financial defaults.
So here is your immediate structural action plan to get this done. Step 1, the 20-minute monthly audit. Sit down with your actual bank statement, not your memory, your actual statement, and ruthlessly cancel those recurring charges you aren't using. Step 2, the 24-hour rule. For absolutely any non-essential purchase under $50, just leave it in your digital cart for 24 hours. Most of the time, the impulse simply fades away. And step 3, the automated day-off transfer. Route a percentage of your money out of your checking account and into an investment account on the exact same day you get paid. Because if you don't even see the money, your lifestyle cannot inflate to absorb it.
Now, the real behavioral trick here is all about naming. Don't just call this account savings account number 2. Give your automated transfer account a really meaningful name that represents a real goal of yours. Name it First Property or Exit Fund or Financial Independence. Because when that account actually has a name connected to what you genuinely want out of life, that automatic transfer completely stops feeling like a sacrifice and it starts feeling like incredible progress.
This whole process is incredibly powerful, just based on the raw math alone. Finding and eliminating $500 a month in money leaks is mathematically the exact equivalent of walking in your boss's office tomorrow morning and getting a $7,700 annual raise before taxes. Think about that. You don't have to wait for a performance review, you don't have to pay extra taxes on it, you can literally give yourself a massive raise today just by plugging these leaks.
Which brings us to the end of our explainer today, and to the most important question of all. When you go do that 20-minute audit, when you institute that 24-hour rule, and you uncover that hidden money, what are you going to do with the hidden $500 you find in your bank account today? It is your wealth, guys. Stop letting it leak away and start making it work for your future.